Hey, brothers, you're listening to the Home Bar Happy Hour, where we talk about cold beer, hot meat, and great times.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Home Bar Happy Hour. We're back here again. My name is Joe, and this is Mike. How are you doing today, Gus?
And I'm Gus. Hey, man, don't forget about me, brother.
I would never forget about you, Gus.
Hell yeah.
All right. Here, ripping and tearing on a good old-fashioned happy hour. Having a good old time here. So, what you been up to,
there's
Mike?
nothing
How
wrong
you
with
been?
ripping and tearing, brother. Let's
I'm
get
all
up in that
about
ass.
it. Oh, good Lord. Already getting up in the ass.
We are, man. Because if it ain't happy hour, what is it? It's nothing.
It's nothing. I don't know if it's nothing, but happy hour is my favorite hour. I'll say that of the day, which happy hour isn't a daily thing, but of the week, it's my favorite hour. I'll say that.
Absolutely, man. As well should be every American out there.
So it is getting ready to turn spring here. The weather is about to break, and that can only mean one thing. Spring break, baby.
Spring break.
Oh man. The craziness. Do you remember the old I feel like it's not that old, but I guess it is now, when like MTV used to go down to South Beach for spring break?
Dude, how could I not forget? I think those were my first visual aid to sexuality.
Oh man. That's those and the Girls Gone Wild video. Remember like you'd be watching Comedy Central or E News like late at night back in the early 2000s.
Oh, yeah.
And the Girls Gone
HBO.
Wild commercials would come on. Yeah, right. HBO was more than
Yeah.
just the Girls Gone Wild commercials, but yeah, for sure. I remember those.
Boy, they're
well.
They were really putting in a pinch, didn't they? Weren't they? It was a great idea at the time. Not so great
Yeah.
now. It's gonna be funny though, because like with this OnlyFans stuff going on right now, like I feel like that's like in the same boat. It's just like a new generation. So I'm just like sitting back and enjoying some great booze, and I'm just watching all this unfold because when in like 20 years when I'm 60, I'm gonna be like, yo, I knew it was gonna happen because 40 years ago, there was this thing called the sorry, I'm having a booze fart in my mind right now. But drinking a little bit of
a senior moment.
Yeah. Girls Gone Wild. Yes, Girls Gone Wild. Yes. Girls Gone Wild went under because it was a part of the new society, and a lot of which it was right, man, dude. I don't know, man. We just went down a rabbit hole with this one.
I think the biggest thing, right, if you're talking about like Girls Gone Wild versus the OnlyFans thing, is now like OnlyFans is putting the power in the hands of the women,
into the
right?
women.
Girls,
yes,
right. They're the ones producing the content. They should be the ones making the money, right? Not some creepy guy with a handheld camera in a van.
Yes,
right.
100%.
Just, preying on drunk women. Like now you have women that are and more power to you. Get that money, go do your thing. And I think it's better for women in general. I think it's better for society too. We talk and we have a lot of fun, and spring break it was definitely a blast back in the day. But we want to talk about the fun
I went
on
spring break I went on spring break 2 years ago, brother, for the first time.
2 years ago. Well, all I want to say, because I want to get back to that.
I was on my third stint. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, I want to get back. I just want to caveat it quick. Like, we are not um, romanticizing, all of the bad things that happen in spring break, but there was a lot of fun things that happened in that area and going on with spring break, and that's what we're talking about, right? So, you know, putting that out of the side, let's take bad, no bummers, right? No bummers. We're just
Yeah, no
having good
bummers.
times, letting the good times roll. So tell me, Gus, about your spring break experience. Would you say it was 2 years ago?
Yeah, that was so I was in my third stint in college. Well, the first two stints were first stint was while I was National Guard. The second stint I was active duty and I was doing like it was after hours, and I was half of it was in school, half of it was online. And then now after I left the military, then I went to culinary school. So I got to at 38 years old, I got to go back to college, and it wasn't just a culinary institute. It was just a community college, nothing big, And so I got to get to go back on campus, man. You get to relive those days. You know how many people like
Yeah, for sure.
single, never married, no kids. Dude, it was like, whoa, this is awesome, man. I remember my boys, like, they were like, dude, this is gonna be, you gotta go and get posters and you gotta get posters and hoodies, man. And yeah, I was just in there. I just went in for a certificate in culinary. And I wanted to. I'm able to learn a little bit. When you're older, you're able to learn a little. You have that window of opportunity where you're able to learn a little bit quickly because of your experiences and stuff like that, and what life has taught you so
Yeah,
far.
for sure.
But yeah, I remember, dude. I was like, spring break. That's a box I'm going to check off. That was the thing. Like after I left the military, I was like, I had like not like a bucket list, because bucket list is kind of like, it's kind of like dismal, but
Yeah, it's got some
you know what I
negative
mean? Like
connotation, sure, right?
yeah, but there's like
It's
there's a
depressing,
lot of
right?
things that I want. Yeah, there's a lot of things that I want to do with my life. And now that I'm out of the clutches of Uncle Sam, and spring break was one of them, and I had the opportunity and I went. I was like, I'm going to St. Pete's Beach, Florida, man. And they're like, well, what are you going to do down there? I was like, I don't care. I'm going down by myself, and I'm going to just relax, and I'm going to get day drunk and eat great food and just have a good time, man. I was down there for a week. St. Pete's Beach, Florida.
Man,
if you ever had the opportunity to go, it was a great time. The water was a bit chilly in Florida. Yeah, at that time, at that year,
in St. Pete's.
yes.
Oh, right, because it's like March.
I went in. Dude, nobody wanted to go in. I mean, like I had my own little cabana, and I smuggled my own Miller Lite out there to the beach. And
nice.
Well, obviously, I mean, I smuggled it out in a book bag, but after I ran out, I had no choice but to have the beach servers bring me out some beers. They were just bringing it out by the buckets, brother. Just bringing it out by the buckets. And
well, they saw you coming from a mile away. They're like, we got to keep this guy, full of Miller Lights the whole time. We know what he wants.
Dude, I was all about, man. I was all about waking up early around it was all about waking up early about like 6-7 o'clock in the morning. Just going down there, getting some breakfast, get some Bloody Marys, some mimosas in you. Then going back upstairs,
started early.
On my, yeah, man, just get my beach tire on. I didn't dude, if I wanted to go out to a bar, I would have stayed home here in PA. Like I wanted to be out on the beach all day, just drinking in the warm weather in March, the beginning of March, dude. It wasn't crazy then because it was like post COVID, so not a lot of people were out.
Gotcha.
I mean, at that time, vacationing, but dude, I bounced. Dude, I had what was that? The Bahama Mamas. I had Bahama Mamas at every bar up and down each mile. I guess not each mile because I was at the end of I was at the end of the mile. But within that mile going north, I was at every beach bar and I had every Bahama Mama, and the one that had it the best was right where I was getting breakfast. It was the best one. Dude, there was this guy from Pittsburgh. Mamas. I remember getting I remember getting breakfast there, and there was I was getting breakfast and I was drinking my mimosas and my Bloody Marys, and there was this guy from Pittsburgh who was there with his wife, and they were leaving like they were leaving their hotel at checkout, and he wanted to get a few more Bahama Mamas in them because he was like, these are the best I've ever had, and I was like, whoa. Oh, this guy tells me it's the best I've ever had. I guess it's going to be a challenge for me. So that's what I did.
Right.
I also had a 1 pound
try 'em
lobster
all.
tail. That was really good.
Oh, I bet.
Oh yeah, I tried them all.
Where,
And that guy was right, man. That was the best one.
where are you finding lobsters that have a 1 pound tail? Like, where are they catching these bad boys?
Oh, bro, they're catching them. So here in a few weeks, I'm going to be going out to Pittsburgh to visit my best friend, and we're going to go down to the Strip District. And down there down there they have a bunch of meat and seafood markets, and they have everything from like a 1/4 pound to a 1/2 pound to a 1 pound, and I believe there's a 1.5 pounds. Like some real big daddies, and they're easily
Oh man.
they ran the one of those big lobster tails easily ranged at that time. And it was, what was that out there? Actually it was that same summer, that same year, that summer of 2021, where I did a road trip. And that was one of my stops. And that's why I saw that it was I don't know, about like $60 for a lobster tail.
Yeah.
But it was a big lobster tail, man. You could feed like easily 2 people, if not 3.
Yeah, this ain't none of these red lobsters. You know what I mean? Those red lobsters, they're not happy with where they're at. They don't enjoy life. They're just little guys.
Yeah.
These are
And they're
the real deal lobsters. Yeah. These are the deadliest catch lobsters. People probably died to bring you these lobsters, you know? You ever watch that show? People
man.
die. Crazy to think about.
But that's like the best thing about
involved,
like paying for like, yeah, but that's like the best thing about paying for something like that. It's just like, dude, like someone literally died, nearly died getting this lobster tail to me as a chef for me to create this
pour
into
one out
a meal.
for your homie.
That's what I'm talking about, man. That's what a lot of people like, you know, you go out to eat and you don't understand. Like, I mean, if you go out to like Red Lobster and Olive Garden and Longhorn, all these chain restaurants, like that doesn't count. Like you got to go to a real restaurant, where they create everything from the base on up, like from everything, like even like where there's chefs back there creating food to put on the line. Those are the restaurants that, you know, where you want to go to. And that's why you pay so much for that food, but you make out on them. Like, dude, if I wanted to eat at Texas Roadhouse, I'd just go to McDonald's. It's the same thing. Yeah. Everything's just manufactured with preservatives.
I agree. You definitely want to go out to eat at a nice restaurant. You know, there's nothing wrong with the occasional Olive Garden or Red Lobster or whatever. But,
no, there's nothing wrong with it. But I mean,
but you need to splurge every now and then.
Yeah, just got to put, you know.
So let me ask.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, let me ask you this. This was going around Twitter about a month ago. This girl put up a tweet that said, basically, I don't have it in front of me, but the basic gist was, if you're gonna take me on a date, it better not be to, and then she listed a whole bunch of restaurants that the first date couldn't be at, and it was Applebee's, Olive Garden, Red Lobster, you know, Texas Road. It was all these chain restaurants. So this girl wanted, you know, if you were going to take her on a first date, if you met her on a Tinder or at a bar or whatever, she wanted like a high class joint. You know, she wanted like something, you know, nice in the city where you dress up to. I want to know what your thoughts are on that, Mike. Like keep in mind, this is a first date, right? This isn't an anniversary. This isn't something special. This is like, hey, I met you on Tinder. We've talked for a day or two. Like, you know, let's grab drinks and dinner. Do you think like Red Lobster or Olive Garden is an acceptable place for a first date?
No, it's not. But also,
taking her,
I'm well.
I want your honest opinion.
Listen,
You tell
I'm
me.
just being, I'm just being. So, I mean, the viewers out there, let me I speak realistically. All right, so I'm not gonna like the first date. I'm not taking you out on on like a high priced extravagant meal. Like we have to meet up in person. Like, you don't know who I am. You don't know what I look like. I don't know what you look like. I don't know who you are. We just started talking like, we met up on like some social media or, Tinder or Bumble or whatever you want to, whatever. I believe that, the first date should be at like a public area where, we can socialize, like there's some good bars here in Hershey. There's some good bars where it's just like really nice. We have a great time. We listen to music and stuff like that. And then after that, we just part ways. And then, then pick, I'll text you later or, everybody text. But let's not get into all that. That's another, rabbit down the hole. But the second date,
we don't have to get into all of it. The second date
is if you're texting me back and I'm texting you back, or other way around or whatever, however communication goes, and we're really into each other, I'm going to invest in that second date. Me, as I'm going to want to, because I'm into you and I want to treat you as an adult and as a female, just wine and dine you. I would take you out to a really nice steakhouse, there's a lot of steakhouses and a lot of good seafood restaurants here in Hershey. That's, they're all, nobody's chained. They have chefs in there. My friend, it was her birthday and like we reconnected. We're friends from high school and it was her birthday and I haven't talked to her in like 20 years. And I was like, oh, it's your birthday? Dude, let's go to this one place. What was it? The Chocolatier or something like that. And dude, that's a really good restaurant. And I went in there, dude. I had a filet mignon with a lobster, and now these are small portions, by the way. So you're spending a lot of money on these plates, and they're small portions, but you're paying for the taste and the freshness and the quality of the food. So I'm getting a filet mignon. It's probably like nah. It was just at your normal restaurant. It was a 4-ounce filet with a 4-ounce lobster on top of asparagus and roasted tomato and pepper risotto, and it was killer. Nice. And it probably wasn't even their best meal to serve.
Yeah. So what I'm hearing is, on a first date, you wouldn't take someone to a chain restaurant. You think it should be someplace local, someplace more casual, but then the second date can be the higher class place.
Yeah, let's get the formalities out of the way first.
Sure. I think like I don't know, if I was still dating and went on a first date, I don't think it would be an issue with like a Olive Garden or something. I mean, that's fine. It's a little too familial, you know what I mean? Like a little too this is where people take their kids on a Thursday night because kids eat free or whatever on those nights. But I don't think there's anything inherently wrong with it.
Taking the Golden Corral?
Golden Corral? Yeah, I wouldn't take them to the Golden Corral. That's that might be I don't know. Golden Corral. They have some decent food. I wouldn't always shit on Golden Corral.
Yeah, do you know it would be a real test for a girl? You take them to a Brazilian steakhouse
and just see how much meat they waft down.
Yeah, that'd be the real test, especially like somebody like me who's like, I just love quality meat.
Yeah,
but I also love salads.
My thing, like my favorite meal is chicken wings. So like, and I can house chicken wings. Like I can just murder like a basket of 20, 25 chicken wings, but I would never, like in my wildest dreams, order chicken wings on a first date because my mouth is all red afterwards and I like them hot and I got a bald head. It's all sweaty. So like, that's just making a bad first impression on me. that's like definitely a
Oh
fourth
yeah,
or
it's
fifth
just like
date
absolutely.
territory
It's
before
like
I
going
bust
to
out
a
the chicken wings.
yeah, it's like going to an Italian restaurant, like and ordering like spaghetti. Like
Right,
that's
slurping
not
up
gonna. I mean,
spaghetti
like
all
if
night.
I mean, dude, you go to Italian restaurants, man. There was this one Italian restaurant up in New York City that I went to, and it was, dude, that was some good steak. Dude, it all depends on what Italian restaurant you go to. Also, you have to be careful when you do go to restaurants when you order your steak. So if you look at it and you got a filet mignon or a filet mignon, that's a tenderloin. That's a beef tenderloin, and that's the
Right.
leaner part of the cow. It's also one of the most it's one of the most distinctive tastes. It's very gamey. It's enriched with that beefness, the actual taste of beef, and because of its lean, um, it's not supposed to be cooked above medium rare because you're taking
Right.
away from the taste, and you're also when you cut into it and you cook it over medium rare, it's not going to carve down like butter. It's going to get tough, and the texture is going to be like beef jerky, and it's going to be really
That
tough.
gamey kind
So
of
if you
comes out in
order,
it, right? When you cook
yeah,
it too much.
yeah. So you're basically wasting your money if you buy a filet mignon and then you bitch about like, oh, the steak was terrible. Well, what did you order? I ordered a filet mignon. At what temp? Oh, I got it at medium well. There's your first mistake. I was like, you
Right.
never
And you
order
ruined
it.
the
They're like,
steak.
well, you don't know what you're talking about. I'm like, okay, whatever. And it's just
Well,
like
what's your
arguing with people.
what's your favorite steak? Like, what's your favorite cut of steak?
Oh, bro. It's definitely the ribeye. The
The
ribeye's
ribeye.
the
Okay.
best. When you get it, yeah, when you get that chart, when you get that when you get that grill nice and hot, and then it's a salt and pepper.
Yeah, that's all you need for
fresh
sure.
cracked pepper and kosher salt. And you throw that right on the hot grill, get that like scorching hot. You throw that right on there, and you get that nice crisp on the outside, and you peel it off right there at medium rare, and you start cutting down into it, and you get that char on the outside, but the mid rare taste on the inside. It's the best, man.
Yeah, I've only had this
But
once.
dude,
I was gonna say the night
go
I got
ahead.
engaged, I ordered a really nice tomahawk steak. I've never had a tomahawk steak before. That thing was big. It was like $130 just for the one steak. But just
Well, it's
got
basically
engaged.
the ribeye,
We were
but it's coming
celebrating.
off that's basically the
But yeah,
ribeye,
it
but
was
it's so like the lower portion of the rib.
okay. All I know is that was like probably the best steak I've ever had in my life. It was, and I ordered it medium rare. I usually do medium rare or rare plus, right? Which is like, but depending on the chef, sometimes they don't know exactly rare plus. But if you go to a good place, they should know what rare plus means. But that was the best steak I've ever had. Just a huge hunk of meat. And it was like, it was like 24 ounces or something. That thing is huge. Loved it.
Oh, absolutely, dude. You go to a nice what was it, our friend Meech. We went out just a random weekend a couple years ago. We went out just two brothers, man, just heading out to we went out to the NFL Hall of Fame, and we just spent the whole weekend out there just just hanging out. We got we got 2 hotel rooms because we're both adults and we're not sharing hotel rooms. And
Right.
we went drinking all weekend, and we went to the Hall of Fame, and then we went out for a really nice we went out I think it was a pretty I don't know, it's a decent drive. It was probably like a 15-minute drive from the Hall of Fame. And
Okay. That's
we got,
in Canton, Ohio.
it's like
is that
one
right?
of those where yep. And then we went out there and
Canton, Ohio.
and yeah, that steak, dude, I got a big tomahawk steak, man. I couldn't even finish it. I had to cut it up and but yeah, we also got like where you get those big sides where they bring them out in like big family platters. They get a big flaming family platter of like French fries and asparagus and mashed potatoes, and dude, it was we both dressed up, it was like gentlemen in suits and a shirt and tie.
It was just a feast.
I also make my dad. I got there's a company that's called Wild Fork, and it's their product is not cheap, but it's not expensive. They flash freeze all their food, all their meat. There you got seafood, poultry, exotic meats, like anything from elk to anaconda to like all that, and all the beef.
Did you say
And
anaconda?
they even have like
like the snake?
Yep, dude, they got.
You can eat a snake? I don't want to eat a snake.
Yes, they have like it's already
How much
fabricated.
of this anaconda are they
so it's just snake meat. Oh, dude, they I think it's like in 4-ounce portions.
Mike, that's what you make boots.
Yeah,
with.
because
I'm not eating anaconda. There's no way.
The skin is what you make boots with, not the meat.
Exactly.
Like, dude, I'm like, hey, man, dude, like, I have no problem. Like, dude, I'll eat snake meat. I don't care. I mean, I'll try and hey, that's my thing. That's life. I try everything at least once. That's my thing.
You have fun with your snake meat,
and
especially you have fun with your snake meat.
Dude,
no snake meat for me.
Especially being a chef, bro. Being a chef, you got to, dude. There's things that when I went through school, I didn't want to try. Indian food, I am not a big fan of.
Oh, I love
food. You could try and polish. Ugh, man. Ugh, nope. You could try and polish up Indian food, anything you want with me. I'm still not going to eat it because I tried it numerous times and I'm not impressed by it. I feel like it's
what
just
was the name of this company?
Something because of that region. Yes, it's called Wild Fork.
Wild Fork. Okay, so we have zero sponsors
they got one
right
down
now, so
in
Wild Fork if you want to sponsor us.
Yes, Wild Fork. They have a venue in Norristown. No, not Norristown. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Willow Grove. Yeah.
Willow Grove. Oh,
that's the
down
one.
in the Lancaster area. Gotcha.
No. Closer to you. Close to Philly. Willow Grove.
Yeah, I know where Willow Grove is. That's
where, right there by the old Air Force bases. Yeah.
But this isn't great
but
podcast material. We're just talking about Philadelphia landmarks. Oh boy.
We're also drinking juice.
Yep, drinking gin and juice. Sounds good. And I love spring break. I love a good restaurant down in spring break. I'm sure you saw the Miami commercial where Miami's like telling people like don't come down here for spring break.
Yes, I saw that. I also saw that they put a ton of police officers down there in Miami because of what happened last year.
Yeah, they are holding it out. I think a lot of that stems from the movie Spring Breakers. Have you ever seen this movie, Mike?
I have not.
You've never seen Spring Breakers? Can I give you a brief recap of Spring Breakers?
Spill it. All right. Hit me with your best shot.
This flick came out in 2012 and it starred mainly like Disney Channel like kids after they'd grown up, right? So Selena Gomez, Vanessa Hudgens, Ashley Benson, they're all in this movie, and they're 4 like college kids that are trying to go to St. Petersburg, Florida for spring break. But unfortunately, they don't have any money to get down to spring break. Exactly. So they don't have any money to get down to spring break. So what do you think they do to get down to spring break?
Oh boy, my imagination can only wander what they do.
Well, it's probably not wondering that they rob a diner. So like they put on masks, they run in there in bikinis and a mask. Yeah, they run in there, they hold up this whole place.
Who's the guy in this movie?
Oh, so I'm getting to that. Gucci Mane is in it, but he's not as big of a part of it. But Gucci Mane, baby. So they rob this diner and then end up with enough money to get down to St. Petersburg, Florida, the Holy Grail, right? The Oz. They're down here in St. Petersburg, Florida for spring break, and they're just partying, having a good time. And then they run into, who do you think they run into? James Franco. And James Franco, his name in this movie is Alien. It's got to be James Franco, right? And I mean, he looks ridiculous in this movie, dude. He's got cornrows. He's a rapper. One of like the best scenes in the movie. It's just like it feels so Florida to me. He's got all these girls over at his house and he's showing them like his big screen TV and he's like, I play Scarface on this TV all day, 24 hours a day, and look at all this shit I got. I look at all these guns I got. Look at all this money I got. So he's, you know, like a big time drug dealer, gang banger down in St. Petersburg, Florida, and all the girls are like just enamored with Alien, with James Franco in dreadlocks or cornrows rather.
Alien.
Yeah. They just love him. Except for Vanessa Hudgens, she keeps it. Oh no, sorry. Selena Gomez. She's the one. Selena Gomez is like, "Hey guys, maybe we shouldn't be spending all of our time with our new friend Alien here. You know, maybe this isn't the best idea." So she leaves, she gets back on a bus and go home, but the other three girls are like, "Whatever, bro. We're in it. We're in it for spring break." And Gucci Mane, he is a rival drug dealer to James Franco's Alien, and they're having some beef, they're having some issues, and Alien, Mr. James Franco decides, you know what we're going to do? We're going to go over there and we're going to take Gucci Mane out. And these three girls, these three, you know, lovely Disney Channel girls that grew up in the limelight, they're like, yeah, fuck yeah, James Franco. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go murder Gucci Mane. And that's exactly what they do, Mike. The movie ends with the three of them and James Franco going to murder Gucci Mane. Unfortunately, James doesn't make it through the ordeal. He gets shot almost immediately, and the three girls have to kind of reconvene a bit, and they're like, well, we're in it. We're here to kill Gucci Mane. And they go up, they kill Gucci Mane, they get some money, and then they get on a bus right back to college. And that's it. They're like, hey, you know what we did? We had a great spring break murdering people and doing drugs and sleeping with James Franco. So I think that Miami saw this movie back in 2012, which is 12 years ago by this point, and they were like, you know what we don't want? We don't want all these college kids coming down here murdering our people. So we're putting an end to spring break.
That's when you think that the Miami's basing it off of James Franco?
No, not exactly.
Spring Breakers?
I think that movie is such a good like kind of parody of like what spring break became. You know what I mean? People were like, we're going to go down to spring break and be crazy. And this movie came out and was like, you want to know what's really crazy? Murdering people. And it's a great flick. I love it, man.
You know, in my personal opinion, spring break has always been spring break. I mean, it may have always, the only thing that has evolved and the only reason why everybody has an opinion about it now is because of social media and everybody's got a smartphone. Everybody can record anything at any time that makes, that makes it like, you never heard about this back in like the 90s and 2000s because you know why? Because nobody had that. We didn't have this, technology where everybody can, video you anywhere at any time. The law enforcement didn't have the technology they do today. Everything was a lot of man work. Everybody was just
they were the
fun.
only ones recording.
Yeah, and I'm sure that the stuff was just as wild then as it is now, and I mean, the only thing that I believe that has changed is the generations of respectively, like the younger generation now is different. Nobody's wilder, nobody's less wilder. Everybody's the same. It's just that each generation is different. So everybody has their own memories and how things go on. And then plus, like, I'll tell you right now, if the technology that we have today was there 20 years ago when I was in college, like, dude, it would be hard, dude. It would be bad. It would be bad. It would,
Yeah,
dude,
fair
all the
enough.
crazy stuff that we did, all the crazy stuff that I like, not just me, but I witnessed my buddies doing and stuff, like in college and stuff like that. Like everybody was, you were free. Technology has kind of put you in a cage where you're not allowed to really express yourself and be free, because you always got to worry about somebody having a camera, so or videotaping you, and who knows where you're going to be at, like 10, 20, 30 years down the road, like that's going to be there. It's always going to haunt you.
Yeah, you always got to be on the lookout for sure.
Yep. Yeah. Plus, like, law enforcement having the technology that they do now to keep people safe, to ensure, to prevent things from happening before they happen. A spring break's wild, man. That's why we had, Girls Gone Wild.
Yep.
That would have never, obviously it's not happening now. So,
right.
That was just a very wrong thing. Yeah, it was just a very wrong thing. It goes in there with the, just taking advantage of somebody because they're, impaired. And, that's obviously 110% wrong.
Yeah. And with all the video, right, you got the bad where you got to always kind of be concerned about if something you do gets misconstrued, but you also have some of the good too, right? Like, people are held accountable sometimes more often for their poor behavior and stuff like that happens. But with spring, something else comes with spring, Mike, and that is the NFL free agency. So I think we talked last week about Jason Kelce leaving the Eagles, and that's going to leave a big hole in our offensive line and really just our team in general. What are you feeling kind of for free agency? Is there anyone catching your eyes that you want the Eagles to pick up?
Well, we definitely want to pick up a few pieces. I personally I'm very comfortable with our offense. Minus I really want them to sign Swift. Like, I really want them to sign Swift. He's healthy. He's electric. He's a number one running back. He's a home product. Excuse me. That's the running back that I want them to sign. I'm not too concerned about our center position, because Cam Jurgens is coming in, and he was drafted by Kelce and by Jeff Stoutland, our offensive line coach, to replace Kelce eventually. And that was 3 years ago? At least 3 years ago.
Yeah.
If not 2.
Yeah, I think he can fit. I think he can fit in well.
And I feel like he's comfortable. Like I said, like he's never going to replace Jason Kelce, because he's a very special talent. He's very special. And but I'm very comfortable with him being there, because he was a top athlete coming out of college, and he's being coached by one of the best offensive line coaches in the league, and by one of the greatest centers in the league. Outside of that, I would say a slot receiver. Nobody crazy. Like last year we got like Zacharias. Like, I thought that he fit in. Like, I'm comfortable with like somebody on that level. But defense. You gotta pair a veteran. You gotta get linebackers, and you need to get a safety. There's rumblings out there with CJ Gardner-Minshew coming back.
Oh, I didn't know that. I haven't heard those.
CJ Gardner-Minshew. I say CJ
because Gardner Minshew is not who we're thinking of different people.
Right? That's CJ Gardner Johnson coming back. Is it CJ Gardner Johnson?
I don't know.
Yeah. He was with us this previous Super Bowl year, and then he went to Detroit on a 1-year deal.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. CJ Gardner Johnson. There's also Justin Simmons, who was just released from the Broncos. He's 30 years old. I don't know how I feel about that. Being 30 years old, but he is a Vic Fangio guy, and yeah, I don't know. And then we have
picking up a 30-year-old is
the veteran.
tough.
Yeah, it is tough. You would have to.
But if you get someone really
Sidney
good,
Brown
like I
going
think
down
we
with
have a good season coming up.
Sidney Brown going down with a ACL tear. The last game of the year against the Giants on one of the last defensive plays was a real. That was a real gut punch, man. It was a gut punch. Sidney Brown, drafted by us, he had a promising. He still has a promising, but I mean, we'll see how this, because he's not going to be available until to play until the end of the next season. It's an ACL tear, so
yeah.
But we'll see how it plays out. But they definitely need to put a competent safety back there along with Reed Blankenship. Also, and then they got to build off of depth too. They also got to build depth for our corners. I'm comfortable with our 2 second-year corners. I'm comfortable with them. I think they should keep boy, this Tito's is really getting to me. Starting to delve into my memory.
Happy hour starting to get in.
Slay, yeah. Slay definitely needs to be.
Yeah.
He definitely needs to go. Bradbury needs to go. But hey, I'm
not
Howie,
so.
But yeah, Devin. Yeah, Bradbury needs to go. I don't know what like. In my personal opinion, like, dude, like he gave up and like, I understand. I totally get it. Like, you're done. Like, you're done. This coaching bullshit is just ruined this team, and I get it.
Yeah,
I totally do.
Got rough.
But when you're out there on the field of battle, like, it doesn't matter if you like your leadership or not. You're in there to fight. You know, right. That's how I treat football. And like, if you're not going to give me that, I'm sorry. He gave up. I'm sorry. You're. I mean, I'm kind of glad that he did, because I didn't want us to win. I was like, dude, we were never going to beat Detroit. So,
right.
But back to free agency, linebackers, Devin White. Devin White is, or Patrick Queen. Depend. I don't even know. Did Patrick Queen get tagged or signed by the Ravens? I'm not sure.
Let's check it out. No, I'm seeing here Patrick Queen is still open.
Definitely gotta.
That would be a good pickup for sure.
We definitely gotta go. It's gonna be a challenge for Howie yet again. But you know what? There's a lot of things that I didn't think Howie was going to be able to do, and he did it. So I kind of trust Howie.
Yeah,
I trust him. He's one of the best GMs in the league. I mean, he's definitely not good at. I don't want to say definitely not good, but he's not good at drafting, because he definitely bombed on a few picks. But
sure, but he's usually pretty good at like owning up to his mistakes and fixing up
contracts.
Later. You know what I mean?
Negotiating, yes. Mm-hmm. Contracts, negotiating, free agent signings. Like, dude, he's awesome. He's ungodly at that. So right. Like, dude, I remember last year when he traded for Swift, and what was that, day 2?
Yeah,
was it day 2 or day 3? I think it was day 2. It was day 2.
Yeah,
it was day 2, and I was like, what? But so next week we will recap on the Eagles' free agent acquisitions, and and
I think we should give them a grade, an A, B, or C grade.
Yeah. Hopefully we'll have more time to talk about the Flyers, the Phillies, and the Sixers. There's really not too much time to talk about them, or anything really exciting going on. Embiid's not going to be coming back until hopefully the playoffs. So We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll hope for
Well,
that.
hopefully he's back by
Tobias
the playoffs.
Harris
That's
is
the
playing like
big thing.
Yeah, because Tobias Harris ain't playing anything remotely worth to his contract of $39 million.
Right.
Yeah. The Flyers are, they're stale right now. And then we got the Phillies. The Phillies, they're in, they played the Astros today in the training camp, and we got opening day coming up here at the end of the month, and hot dogs and cold beer is what that's all about.
Yes, sir. I agree with that. Well, hey, I think that's time for today. Mike, I had a blast hanging out with you. This was so much fun talking about spring break and getting ready for football. And I'm excited to come back.
But the bottom line, talking about football and stuff like that in free agency, that's exciting right now. But we had the Phillies, we got the Flyers, we got the Sixers right now. They're kind of stale. But it's getting towards the end. We'll see how the end of the season's here coming up here. But we got the Phillies too, man. The Phillies are going to be starting up here at the end of the month, so we got more than just talking about football. So the Birds have their time. Let's give these other sports. Let's give the other teams of Philadelphia get their time.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm excited to come back with you in the next week or two and talk about what the Eagles did in free agency and how they made out and how we're looking going towards the season, and talk about something else. Maybe we can talk about another.
Oh, what we're going to be
early 2000s
talking
James
about
Franco movie.
Yeah, what we're going to be talking about? We're going to be talking about St. Patrick's Day, ladies and gentlemen. St. Patrick's Day special with free agency recap of the Philadelphia Eagles. Right here.
I love it. That's
on
perfect.
Home Bar Happy Hour.
I love it. Hey, thank you guys so much for listening. You can follow us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, leave a like and review. That helps a lot. If you have a question for us, send it to homebarhappyhour@gmail.com. And until then, enjoy your happy hour. I'll see you later, Mike.
Yep. See you later, Joe.
Later, brothers.